Good afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. This weekend, the second phase of the launch of the Ethnic Network on the island was held. It's an initiative that seeks to highlight the content of various communities in the country through a digital platform called P24/7.
In the framework of Afro-Colombian Month, the second stage of P24/7 Ethnic Digital Platform was launched in the department, which seeks to exchange the cultural audiovisual content of the Afro-Indigenous, Gypsy, Palenquero, and Raizal populations. With this new alliance, citizens will be able to access content and stories with native talent and deal.
It consists of grouping all those digital platforms that are in the territories, platforms that have 50 or 100,000 followers who are in their own territory generating content. We're trying to get that content out. We're there in the Pacific. We do not know what happens with our Raizal and Palenquero brothers. We do not know what happens in so many communities, but we're all one. Therefore, the idea is to know what are the cultures, the actions, so that we can generate a twinning content.
Teleislas regional channel is linked to the Ethnic Network and the digital platform P24/7 with all its content where the traditions, customs, and news of the archipelago can be made visible. The channel will also show productions from other regions.
It is another new window that we open where we have the possibility of showing new expressions, new cultures, new identities that will not only strengthen the channel, but also diversify the proposal, allowing greater information options of what happens in this territory and also in other ethnic areas where people build their social processes, identity, race, and territory.
The P24/7 Ethnic Network will offer news information on different regions of the country, cultural, judicial, and sports news, spaces for entrepreneurs, and mental health and ethnic fashion.
During the socialization of the new strategic plan for the 2022 elections carried out by the National Registrar's Office in the department, the electoral ballot in Creole for the presidential and vice presidential elections of May 29 was unveiled.
During the socialization of the new strategic plan for the 2022 elections carried out by the National Registrar's Office in the department, the electoral ballot in Creole for the presidential and vice presidential elections of May 29th was unveiled.
La Registraduría Nacional del Estado Civil.
The National Civil Registry Office, headed by Registrar Alejandro Vega Rocha, has come to present to the Raizal community and to all the insular population of San Andres, Providence, and Catlina the electoral ballot in Creole, as well as the electoral census and other documents in the Creole language, because the objective of the Registry Office is to reach the community, the base, respecting the cultural and ethnic idiosyncrasy of each territory in Colombia. As spokeswoman of Mr. Alexander Vega Rocha, we can guarantee that in San Andres Islands, as well as in the Colombian territory, we will have a transparent and guaranteed elections from the National Registry of Civil Status.
The election of May 29th will be the second electoral process where the National Registrar's Office will use a Creole electoral ballot, the first time being the last legislative elections on March 13th.
In other news, the police department of San Andres announced in its official media the different captures that took place during the weekend.
The first capture occurred at the Gustavo Rojas Pinilla International Airport when a 32-year-old citizen was trying to bring 8 kilos of marijuana to the island. The person was immediately captured and the drug was seized. Similarly, officers of the Gaula captured a 37-year-old woman in the San Luis neighborhood when she was trying to receive the sum of 85 million pesos, which were the proceeds of an extortion to a senior citizen. Finally, the police reported that in the Red Ground neighborhood, and thanks to a complaint from the community, officers of the GOES Special Operations Group were able to capture by court order a 25-year-old citizen for the crime of aggravated theft.
And the strong rains and winds that were experienced during the weekend kept the firefighters of the department active. Several sectors of the island were assisted.
3 fell and roof dropped off during the rain that occurred on the islands this weekend. According to the fire department, many houses lost their roof and 3 blocked the way on Main Road in San Andres. This was stated by Lil Rose Johnson, a member of the fire department.
We tend to different incidents in section of our department. We had, for example, in the section of Jenny Bay, someone house that blew off, and we could tend to hear from the fire department. Also, they have different road that was closed up because of the tree them that fell, but we could also tend to those incidents, and until now, well, we have the 100% of the road and free that everyone can transit.
Also, considering that the hurricane season is approaching, Lily Rose, on behalf of the fire department, gave some recommendations.
We want to recommend our community that during this rainy season to continue do the work of prevention, check out constantly the gutter them to make sure that they're not black with leaf and different things that can allow that the water stop up and then we cause different incidents. Also to search constantly round the house to see the kind of risk that maybe we will have during the rainy season, the system them where you will store up your water, and also the emergency and family kit that we should go in searching now before the rainy season and the hurricane season start.
The community is reminded that if they need to cut or trim trees, the permit must be requested from the Coralina Environmental Corporation and is paid for by the community. The institution is responsible for the cutting of trimming of trees around public roads.
And after a short commercial break, we will continue with more of Teleislas news.
Make we talk about racial culture, custom and tradition in our mother tongue.
This 2022, for weekend, come back stronger. If you will like the first season, the second season, you're going to like it the double.
Remember, say every Saturday and Sunday from 3 till 4, we the right here in a free weekend with everything that got to do with Islanders people and racial culture. On the street, on your screen, and also in your home.
We want to have a happy weekend.
Connecting right here in a free weekend.
Through Teleislas, the channel
of our identity.
In each chapter of Racial Hearts, you will know more about our traditional horse race in our island. It's one of the most popular cultural manifestations.
We love it, yeah. Islanders people really love horse race.
All we got with house where we live with all the loved ones. Mama, papa, grandparents, cousin, uncle, even the dog and the puss. But home there we got things to do every day. For the keep clean and tidy. Spread the bed, sweep, mop, shake off everything, cook, wash dishes and clothes. One person can't do all this. But if everybody will live in the house, do them part and take responsibility with the house duty them, everything in the house will be more equal and everybody will happy.
¿Estás cansado de perderte nuestra programación en vivo? No te preocupes, Teleislas emite tus programas favoritos del día todas las noches. Sí, así como lo oyes, a las 10:30 p.m. Teleislas News. En familia a las 11 p.m. y Pretty Island Magazine a las 12 a.m. porque sabemos que hay contenidos que no te puedes perder. Teleislas, el canal de nuestra identidad.
IDEAM reports that over the archipelago of San Andres and Providence, light to partly cloudy sky conditions have been registered, and rains are expected during the next 2 days in the department. Likewise, 3 days of rain are expected in the western Colombian Caribbean Sea.
The Institute of Hydrology, Meteorology and Environmental Studies, IDEAM, Office of Forecasting and Alert Services in San Andres reports that rain is forecasted for the next 3 days in the west of the Colombian Caribbean Sea, persisting of rainfall of varying intensity over the archipelago of San Andres and Old Providence. The heaviest rainfall is expected on May 25th. Therefore, authorities are advising shallow draft vessels to consult with the Port Authority before setting sail in areas where the storms are imminent. To bathers and coastal inhabitants to be attentive to the evolution of the meteorological conditions and to the warnings of the local authorities. Coastal inhabitants are advised to be attentive to the evolution of the phenomenon.
And the Clip Fest contest of our regional channel Teleislas is progressing at a great pace, and the number of participants and those officially registered for this process has been consolidated. We connected at this time via telephone with Kira Mo, who gave us more information. Kira, when did this registration close?
ClipFest 2022 cerró inscripción.
ClipFest 2022 closed registration last Friday, May 20th at 5 p.m. After the process of verification of requirements, we closed with a group of 8 professionals and 4 amateurs for a total of 12 participants. Now, each of these groups have the task of making the lyrics of their songs and the scripts for their videos and have a deadline to deliver these no later than May 28th. We will be attentive to the networks to see the news of ClipFest in this 4th season, and we will know who are these 12 participants that accompany us.
Remember that this year ClipFest will only have participants in the music video clip category, a great space to showcase the culture and talent of our island.
Now let's get to know other facts that are making news in our brief news section of today.
Police officers from the Custom Police celebrated Mother's Day at the San Pedro Claver home, bringing a moment of joy and relaxation to the elderly at the center. The Environmental Corporation Carolina and the National Unit for Disaster Risk Management provided the emergency line so citizens can contact the emergency unit during the rainy season. The Secretariat of Sports and Recreation joins the project On Your Marks, Ready, Inclusion #2 of the Colombian Paralympic Committee. This project seeks to improve the quality of life of people with disabilities through the inclusive sports. To this end, a sports profiling process is conducted among children and young people for the future of the islands in different sectors of the island.